Hi, my name is Bernie Lawrence-Watkins, and I am the February 2024 cover gem for the Bold Maven magazine.
When did you know that this was something you wanted to do?
Well, that's an interesting question. When I was in college, I have a brother who was at Howard University with me. He was into music and he had gotten a record deal. And being that we were extremely close, I was able to see how his experience was going as an artist signed to a label. And I saw the promotions that they had to do, traveling from city to city, not getting paid, and also hearing about the making of the videos and how certain videos couldn't be played on MTV at the time because they were too ethnic. And also just not really seeing the money from the sale of the recordings. And he ended up losing his deal. And at that point, I realized, okay, I need to go to law school to become an entertainment lawyer to work with musicians as well as artists and entertainers to help them get the best deals possible. I attended a performance high school in New York where my major was voice. I thought I was going to be a performer when I was a little girl. And my parents were not very fond of me singing as a career, and they said I had to go to college. So that's how I ended up at Howard University. But then I realized when I was graduating from Howard, I had a job, but I decided not to take the job because I said I'm going to go on to law school and I'm going to pursue entertainment. And that's how I ended up in law school.
What led you to start your own firm?
I wanted to start a firm where I thought that I could have control of how the firm was going to be perceived in the public, the type of clients that I decided to work with, and also to build a brand that I could help get known, not just locally, but on a national level. I had this vision early on that I, as a woman, could do it because I heard a lot of negative things. When I was in law school, I was told by one of my first summer intern employers that I was just a pretty wrapped up box with nothing on the inside. And that really pushed me to become the best that I could possibly be. I had a vision for myself to excel and that I had something to prove to this particular lawyer and also to prove to the world that I am more than just what I look like. I am really about brains. I'm about making things happen, not just for myself, but for other people. I'm about the betterment of my people. And I am about just education and trying to make this world a better place. And I figured that through the law that I can make those things happen, working with the community, helping people see that they can always have a vision for themselves and become the best that they could possibly be.
You've worked with a number of high profile artists. What has it been like working with artists like 21 Savage, Lotto, and Tay Keith?
Well, I'll say working with 21 Savage, I worked with him in the early stages of his career when he first started in 2015, and he had less than 5,000 Instagram followers. And I must say it was a real pleasure working with him because he was always about his business, very focused, very resilient, and also had had a vision for himself. He was disciplined, where he spent a lot of time in the studios recording. He really was dedicated to his craft in terms of wanting to get better and wanted to become a household name. So watching him in the early stages and just seeing where he is today makes me smile and makes me very proud, knowing that I helped have a hand in that because I negotiated his deals and made sure that he owned everything. You know, owned all his masters, owned his publishing, and to know that he's reaping the benefits to this day is just a great feeling to me because he believed in me, and we fostered a great relationship, and I was able to help him in that regard. Tay Keith is also a great person because I remember when I first got him as a client, I got him through his manager who was attending Howard University with my son. And when we first met, and actually our first conversation was over the phone, and he told me about his background, his musical background, and that he was in college. I really was touched by that because my mom was an educator. I am a strong believer in education, and he would not allow his music career to affect him in his attendance at school. He made sure that whenever they called him for an interview or to travel to LA or to wherever, he put his studies first. If he had a meeting with his classmates or project he had to do, that was first. If he had a test that he had to take, that was first. And I really admired that because that's discipline. Discipline is really about doing things that you really don't want to do, but you know you have to do it because you're going to reap the benefits in the long run. And he's been very dedicated and disciplined, and that, in my mind, is part of what's needed to become successful. When you're committed to the cause, you're disciplined, and you're focused, and you understand what the things that you need to make yourself better. So just working with him and his team has been a great experience for me. Lotto is also a great client. I started working with her in the very early stages of her career, and just knowing how she started as a young performer, performing ever since she was around 8 years old, very dedicated as an artist. I began working with her when she was probably around 17 or so. And she was really about her business and still is about her business today, dedicated to always becoming the best that she possibly can be. And when you see young talent like that, focused and ready to take on the world and to accomplish the goals that they set for themselves, you have all the passion in the world to want to help and support them in every way possible. And I'm glad that I have the opportunity to do that.
What has your experience been as a Black woman in this industry?
You know, I laugh because I've been doing this for coming up on 25 years now. And I've had some interesting encounters where people sometimes respect you and sometimes they don't. When you don't have a name, meaning no one knows who you are, they definitely treat you like they don't know who you are. And I'll give you an example of an experience that I had when I was negotiating a deal. There was a label that was interested in a a client that I had, and when I was talking to the lawyer on the phone, he was actually going over the deal points. And then I said, well, that sounds great. Just put it in an email and send it to me, and I'll discuss it with my client. And he said to me, didn't you take notes? And I was floored. I couldn't believe that he said that. It's like, what? And I'm saying to myself, like, okay, I just did not know what to say after that. And I just said, well, no, I did not. And he said, well, I am heading out with my wife. Today's our anniversary, and I really don't have time to send this email. And I said, okay. But I knew that my client entrusted me with the power to take the information and deal with the parties that I was conversing with accordingly. And when I told my client, look, I don't think this is the company for you, my client trusted my judgment. We just kept it moving to the next company. So I just think sometimes people, they underestimate the power that we have as lawyers with our clients. And it's really when people tend to lash out or say negative things, my mindset is that's really about that person. Maybe they had a bad day, or maybe they're just an unhappy person. And I'm at a place in my life where I know I can't control how people react or how they respond or things that they say. So I really don't let things get to me. I just know that when I was coming up as a lawyer in this business, I had to make sure that I was very knowledgeable about the work that I was doing, that I understood these deals and the deal points, and that I was able to strengthen my negotiation skills. That was what was important to me, because someone saying I don't like her is different than someone saying, oh, she doesn't know what she's doing or she's not smart. So focusing on the education was very important to me, and just making sure that I was always operating in the best version of myself. So that was my focus. My goal early on was to build a brand that was a household name, that was known nationally, someone that they referred to as an expert. That was my concern. But in terms of the experiences, I've encountered some experiences that were negative, but I did not allow it to affect my flow, because again, I know who I am as a person. I understand the self-love that I have in me, and what I have to offer to the general public. So I never turned someone's negativity onto the positive outlook that I have for me.
You've been in this industry for over 20 years. What keeps you motivated?
God, my children, my parents that are no longer alive, just, the thought that my mom, oh my goodness, it's becoming emotional. I'm not originally from the States. I'm from a different country. And my parents brought us here for a purpose, and that was for us to make a better way of life. And my mom was an educator, and it was extremely important for her and my dad to see us succeed. So those are the types of conversations that we had in our household growing up. The importance of education, the importance of bettering yourself, and the importance of knowing who you are, and the importance of always keeping God first. So I try to raise my children with those same morals and those same values. And I always wanted my mom to experience everything that I'm going through now in terms of the success that I've had. But unfortunately, she passed away close to 15 years ago. And prior to that, she was suffering from dementia. So mentally, she was not, when she was alive, she still couldn't comprehend the experiences or the successes that I was having. And I just, I just feel that knowing that they are in heaven, they are watching down on me, and they are proud of me. And that just makes me smile every day, knowing that I have angels that surround me. But yeah, it's I'm just very I'm thankful and I'm grateful for what they did for us. I'm thankful and grateful for being able to make a way for myself. And it wasn't easy, but sometimes taking the road less traveled is the best way, because you learn a lot through struggle. You learn about who you are, you learn about your strengths, you learn about your weaknesses. And thankfully, because of the type of parents that I had, I never shied away from that. I understood how important it was to keep pushing and continue to stay motivated. And because of the values that they instilled in me, helped me become the person that I am today.
Final question. To the young women of color hoping to pursue this career, what is your advice?
My advice to young women would be always understand who you are and never compromise your values. Always aspire to inspire before you expire.